And we'll have invocation, then pledge to the flag. Please stand and leave your hands. Thank you, dear Lord, for letting us gather here this afternoon to do the business of the township. Guide our hands and our minds in the proper directions for all our people that have anything to say. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you haven't signed in, please sign in on the sign-in sheet here.
I don't believe so.
Are there any more seats back here?
Chairs out in the hallway there. Yeah, it looks like it. Thank you.
Anybody else coming in?
That's it.
Well, we've had opening session and now is generally have it to visitors. And we try to hold it down to around 3 minutes if you have anything to say. And being we have a bunch of people here, I've heard that some of you are here to discuss the police business. And if so, how about getting one spokesman here so that we don't have to hear the same thing over and over from everybody that's here. And I would ask our solicitor to give you a short summation of our rules.
Sure. If you're going to ask questions or make comment with respect to the police situation, understand that the board is not going to respond simply because it's a personnel matter. But they will accept, obviously, any types of comments that you have with respect to the police situation.
Well, pardon me, but you said personnel matters. But it's the public, really.
But it's a personnel matter which will not be discussed at a regular meeting.
Then when can we discuss it?
Yeah.
Well, you can make comment, but it's not going to be discussed by the supervisors because it's a personnel matter. Personnel matters are just that and are discussed at an executive session.
And we,
If discussed
this
at all.
isn't anything new. We've been doing this for many years that I've been here.
I'd
Personnel
say
matters are
give
not
everybody a chance to speak their word, not one individual, because we all have individual things to say. So just start at the one end like you always do, and let's give it a shot.
I don't want to hear the same thing over and over.
I
and
don't
over
think you
again.
will.
All right. Oh, well, and let's keep it short and sweet, if we can. And we'll start with the gentleman on the left.
About the police?
About any issue that you may have.
What do you have for us?
I have a Mylar that I need you to
Sign.
sign.
Yeah. We have that down here, so we'll take care of you when you're
That's on the agenda.
on the agenda comes up. All right. Who's around the corner? Bill.
Yeah, I'd like to say you can't answer my question on the police department. Who is over the police department? Could you answer that?
Could you ask them?
Well, am I supposed to ask all three of you or just individual if I've got a question?
Well, if it's about the personnel on the police, we were not going to answer that. You know that ahead of time. We've already
Yeah.
spoke that.
Who's over the police department? Can you answer that?
Who is in charge of the
Yep.
police? Supervisor, you mean?
Yep.
Is that what you're talking
Yep.
about?
I am.
Kurt
All right.
Stuffler.
Yeah.
In case somebody didn't know who he was, it's Kurt Steffler,
Well,
all right?
yeah, there ain't much more you can ask, it's personnel matters.
It is a personnel matter, and we do
Yeah.
not discuss that.
Well,
And there is a reason for that also, believe me. There is a reason for that, and the reason is, as far as I'm concerned, we don't want to get sued
yeah.
for
Well, that,
defamation of character or anything else.
Does that
We
involve
do-
all township? They have that code of silence that,
All townships?
yeah, is that the way it's drew up?
I don't know that, because I'm only
Franklin Township.
familiar with Franklin Township. In
Yeah.
fact, I've never been to any other township meetings
You
around.
know, yeah.
I don't have any use for it to go. No, I haven't. All right,
Got nothing, just here to listen in.
all right.
Nothing.
I'm listening.
I'm here, well, fire department and police department, but,
All right.
I mean, so when can we talk about the police department if we can't talk about it here?
You can talk about it right now, but they're not.
If you want to comment on something,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I asked 2 months
If
ago,
you were asking questions about it,
we had 3
We're not
guys
done.
leave in a week, right? I asked 2 months ago who was in charge out here. The chief is on medical leave. The acting chief was your sergeant. He's one of the ones that left. So what's our reasoning here?
what's the reason for what?
Why would he leave?
That's-
Again, that is a
That-
personnel matter.
We're not going to answer
Yeah,
personnel.
and they're not obligated. They're not obligated, quite frankly, to answer anything, regardless of whether it's personnel related or not. Public comment is exactly that, just to hear a public comment.
The end story of it is we don't want PSP out here. We have the budget to do it. We want police here.
Well, we are getting more people now, I'll say that much. As you will find out later
It's
on.
been a
in the
revolving
meeting.
door. And it shouldn't be. You had a guy that was steady night turn that left to go to a part-time job.
Go talk to him, find out from him. We are not going to answer that questions. The gentleman, I guess you have a camera there, or what is that? Huh?
Yeah, it's camera.
All right. And, ma'am?
Yes, I'm on that list,
All right.
so I can speak. Okay, I'm not in front of the camera this time, though. He's already got me once. He's with the Beaver Countyan. I don't know if any of y'all know who the Beaver Countyan is or not. If you don't go to Beaver, you probably don't know who the Beaver Countyan is. But anyway, it's a newspaper in Beaver County. My name is Sarah Pennell. And I'm running for controller of Beaver County. So if you come to the courthouse, if I get elected, you'll see me. And my slogan is Yell for Pennell. And I'm running out of cards, so I'm just going to leave one for Shannon. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And I have an opponent, so I don't know if I'll make it through the primary or not, but I'm hoping I am. I hope I will. Y'all all vote for me and tell all the people to vote for me. Even if you're Democrats and I win, you can vote for me in November. So, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them after the meeting.
All right, thank you.
Sarah. And you're filming this just for your campaign?
No. We're just, no, he does this. He's hired about, I just introduced him because he wouldn't introduce himself.
I've been in a meeting a while. Is this normal for every meeting now?
He just goes where his people send him.
He's here for you.
No,
No, he wasn't here for me.
about the camera, you mean?
Yeah.
No, he's.
We have had cameras here before, but not lately.
Okay.
New Swickley televises all theirs, don't they? They can't, you do New Swickley, they're always on the internet. You can watch New Swickley's meetings.
He's with the Beaver Countyan, which is a newspaper.
Yeah, but don't they
specifically
put on
online.
all
I don't know
the,
whether they do.
Yeah,
but-
they do.
Okay, they do. Do you? does the Beaver County and specifically do that, or maybe New Swickley as a municipality
You can
elects
go on
to
to
do
Beaver
that?
County and see the list of the townships that video.
Okay.
And you can listen to them
Yeah,
and see them.
yeah.
And you'll see me on one of them,
Really?
All right.
if you look at the right one. I've been dodging the camera.
You, sir.
Yes, thank you. Just, here to see if we're
State-
pursuing the nuisances at 368 Dutch. And also, I wanted to ask about the logging that's being done out at Hereford Manor Park or Lake. I know they're cutting down a lot of trees and moving some dirt, but they've gone up to the upper lake and removed some trees up there. Do you guys have any insight into that?
Well, as far as we know, that isn't our land, and it is controlled by the airport, and I guess the government got in on this. What is it, the FFA or something?
Yep.
It's got to be the Federal Aviation Agency,
Yeah,
right?
Federal Aviation.
But I thought that
And
land was controlled by the
They tell
Fish and
them,
Game.
they tell them what to do. The aviation tells the airport what they do, what they can do, what they need to do.
Right, it just
And we
seemed
have,
like
we have
long-
no control over it
Yeah, it looked like a long
whatsoever.
way from the airport to be removing trees, and I just didn't know if you had anything.
Like I said,
This is coming from a federal agency, so
it's,
a couple levels up from where we're
oh,
at.
oh yes,
Just a few.
I guarantee that much.
It could be because of the runway situation. They clear a lot of that for the runway for clearing.
But it's way off, I could see it's the upper lake.
Yeah,
You're not
I-
talking about where they originally.
No,
You're
it's
talking
up way
about back
further.
beyond.
Yeah, it's up,
He's talking about back
Back even
behind.
farther.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know that we know anything. Amy,
I don't
Shannon,
even-
we haven't received anything.
I
yet.
haven't received anything, but Mr. Sperduti said that the airport has an agreement with the Fish and Boat Commission to cut certain trees down that were in the flight path or something. So that's all I know, but I didn't receive anything official.
And we're getting,
Glide path, they have a glide path, like a code around that airport for the day one clear.
Regulations.
And
Yeah.
they hit some of the hills way out, if they're
Yeah.
high enough, they'll want the trees knocked down on them too.
That must be what it is.
that's the
That's
best we
probably
can
what it
do.
is.
Yeah, it just seemed, I just thought that was Fish and Game, and I've heard that the airports had bought it, or they control it, or.
You know, our family owns a property that borders all that.
Yes.
Hereford Manor. So what I suggest you do, contact Dave Holman, the manager of the airport. He can, if you want to find out, he can give you all the details on what's going on there and put you in contact with the proper people at FAA if you want to talk to them.
Yeah, just curious if anybody knew, but it seems to still be a mystery.
Shannon has
Yeah,
his
all the
number.
farms up there, they have regulations on how
Yeah.
big the salaries are. And
And the nuisances at 368 Dutch Road are being pursued.
Pardon?
The nuisance violations are being pursued at 368 Dutch Road.
Yes, and
I received a notice to Mr. Richardson today in the mail, but I couldn't open it. It was just to him, so I forwarded it to him.
From the magistrate.
From the magistrate.
Okay.
So it is in the process, so.
Thank you. That's all I have to say.
You're next, sir.
Nothing right now.
And the next gentleman is our engineer. So we'll be asking him questions later.
I'm just here to observe.
All right.
Okay, getting back to the police department. I think there's a problem with the way that the police are handled, the way that the township workers are handled. There's been so many people that have been badgered and hassled in the last couple of years up there, it's ridiculous. And I'm not gonna point fingers, but the three guys up there in the front of that table knows what's going on here. We went through chief after chief after chief here, assistants, police officers that have retired and were dismissed and just turned in their resignations for so many times here. It's just getting ridiculous. The workers that work on the township crews, they claim they were getting badgered and bullied during the work time that they're here, and this stuff has to end. We hear it from the workers. Harry's son is the the maintenance boss here, he has had numerous problems with the supervisor team up that are sitting in front of you right now. All the workers that work with him, the township secretary, down to all the police officers, and it's just getting ridiculous here. There's no reason why we should have to go through 3 or 4 township police chiefs in the last half a dozen years. It just seems like it just never ends. And the 3 boys that resigned last week are sick and tired of it, and that's why they left. They can't take the badgering no more, they can't take the bullying and the hassling that they go through. And that's the truth that these 3 guys up front aren't telling the people. So something has to be done here. Something has to be reorganized with our supervisors. Some might have to go, some might have to stay, but something has to be done here because this is just getting ridiculous in this township. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Do we agree? And the people voted you people in. And if you're not doing your jobs, you're gonna go. Because if we gotta get the proper people to get you people out of here, if we gotta go to workman's comp or whatever because you're driving these people to go to the hospitals and get medication to work at this place, and that is a true fact, this has got to end. This is ridiculous. Next.
Well, I'm old enough to remember this township. I'm a little over 80 years old, and I can remember the township workers done most everything by hand. When they were doing the roads in the winter, there was a guy standing in the back of the truck, and he was throwing ashes out on the hills. The police department drove their own cars. That was the patrol cars, and it just seems like things went along pretty good. I'm sure there was problems from time to time, but lately, and I've had different people asking me what's going on out there that they can't keep any policemen out there, and I said I have no idea. Apparently it's internal because they seem they get pretty good guys in there as policemen, and next thing you know they're resigning, and there has to be a reason for it. What I don't know what it is, but apparently it's in their supervision or it's internally that's causing these problems. It's I mean, these guys come here and plan on doing a good job as policemen, and then the next thing you know they're gone, and there has to be a reason for that, and we need to find out what it is.
Okay. I'm good, just here listening.
All right. Moving on, did you get a chance to read the minutes of the previous meeting?
Do I make a motion to accept them?
Aye.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. So carried. Under the correspondence, we have the Beaver County Planning Commission review letter according to the Daniel Duffy Plan Number 2. And that would be you, sir.
You want to bring that up?
Yeah, we generally do it under business, but we can take care of that now and let you go then. So, would you bring that up for us?
Sure.
Please? Matter of fact,
Yes, it's been reviewed.
Okay.
The planning commission approved it.
So we would need a motion to approve the subdivision.
All right, I make a motion to approve the subdivision.
you want a second?
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. I think it's right here and here, isn't it?
Yeah, you would sign right here, Jen.
Supervisor Franklin Township, yeah.
There should be a consent stamp. Should be
I think
good.
that's it, I don't think there's
Yep,
anything
and then you'll
else.
just have to go down to planning, call them, and they'll sign it, and then you can get it recorded.
Got it. Appreciate it.
You got any free dirt?
Me? Free dirt? What are you talking about, the dirt that's up on that hill there?
Wherever you're subdividing.
You have to talk to my daughter. Well, that's a whole other subject. All right, thanks. Take
Well,
care.
we got rid of that, sir.
One off the list. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right, we have the planning commission. Did we have anything from them?
They have their April minutes.
Pardon?
The April minutes are there for review.
Oh, yeah, here it is, here. The minutes for the planning commission meeting. If you people don't know who's on that one, we have Jason Richards, Ted Saucasey, Jim Sperduti, Dave Anaruma, and Ken Dwyer. Those are the members of the board for us. And there are minutes of the meeting is here, if anybody needs to look at it. Mr. Engineer,
Okay,
do you have anything for us on the Zallo Plan number 3, the stormwater in the road,
Okay.
Slice Road?
there's stormwater as far as the retention system. The calculations and stuff are all correct. What bothers me is they're putting a 25-foot fill on a 15% slope, and the soils for that slope is that it's subject to slipping. And they're gonna put 10 feet of water in the pond to keep it soaked. And I'm worried that it's gonna slide out. So I don't know whether we can hold it up, because I asked them to get a soils engineer to make a review of that. I haven't heard from them. But if we want to approve it, I think that they should get, the township should get some kind of a guarantee from Zallo that the people that buy in there are gonna have a homeowner's agreement, that they're gonna be responsible for maintaining that pond, and if it slips, they gotta put it back in.
And that was something that we had discussed previously, and I think was understood to occur.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, I mean, and I've not seen any such
Neither have I.
document creating the association. I did speak with Mr. Zallo's counsel, this was some time ago, relative to the creation of an association specifically for this purpose. So perhaps I can do that prior to next month's meeting. Okay.
Okay. The other thing I have is Mike and I met with the property owner down off of Franklin Street. He has a stream coming out his side yard onto the street. He wants to pipe it. the neighbor downstream has put a pipe under his driveway, and then he filled in the township's swale that comes down along the street and put a little catch basin at the end of his yard. And he piped it all the way across the front of his property. He wants to hook into that catch basin. And again, I don't think we have any right to tell him he can't pipe on his own ground. But I don't think we should let him hook into the catch basin, because once they hook it up, and 20 years from now, when that goes bad, that's gonna be the township's pipe. The people out there are gonna be after the township to replace the pipe. The same thing with the guy that piped the whole swale in front of his yard. When that goes bad, they're gonna be saying that's township pipe because it's on the township road. We probably ought to look at some kind of a program to monitor that stuff and not let them fill the ditches in alongside the roads.
I agree with Bill.
Yeah. I think you're right, Bill. It'll come back to us sooner or later if we do that. And what would he be able to do if he couldn't put it into that catch basin?
He could just stop back 5 feet away from the catch basin and let it drain into the catch basin the way it is now. See, it's a stream that's running there now, goes into the catch basin. But if he hooks it up,
And that, excuse me, Bill, is the township's catch basin?
no.
No, it's private
It's
catch
a
basin.
private.
And that's his neighbor's catch basin
Yeah.
then?
Well, I think that's, we should inform him that,
I mean, does the neighbor have a problem with him tying into the
I
catch
have
basin?
no idea.
I mean, that's another issue, obviously, is him tying into a catch basin not located on his property, whether, or regardless of whether it's in the township's right of way.
even if this neighbor would allow him to use that private catch basin out there, now, you know, somebody else is gonna own this property 20 years, 30 years from now, and then they're gonna come back and say, I should never done that, you know, and then we'll be responsible.
Yeah, well, by the time it goes bad, nobody's gonna be around that remembers it.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be the township's pipe because it's on the township road.
Well, I think we should just leave it as such and say, no, you cannot put it into his personal,
Okay, but he can put the pipe in, but he just can't connect them up.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
You know, if his neighbor has a complaint, obviously, because it affects the natural flow, is he uphill from the neighbor?
Yeah,
I mean, the neighbor could potentially have an issue with what he's doing, which,
that would be between him and the neighbor.
correct, absolutely, I mean, that's not a township issue. But, I mean, there is a private cause of action if you change the natural flow of water and it causes damage to a property owner, a neighboring or adjacent property owner.
That's all I have.
All right, should we inform him of this?
Yeah, I think, because he's waiting to see whether he can put the pipe in.
Uh-huh.
I mean, why is he even asking us whether or not he can put the pipe in?
I don't know.
I mean, that's
Apparently
his
he got a hold-
property.
Apparently he got a hold of Mike and wanted, or maybe his contractor got in touch with Mike. I think he was worried about hooking into that catch basin.
Well, and that, you and I should discuss that in greater detail and make sure that, you know, we're not creating any liability for the township
Okay,
specifically, Bill. Okay.
all right.
What's Mike's thought on that?
He'd like to keep the thing open, the swale open.
Is the swell within our right of way?
No, it's in the side.
I mean, that's why we can't, yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree with him, but I don't know that we can force him to keep the
Yeah.
swell open if it's not
Basically,
within our right of
I
way.
think that swale is the property line between him and his neighbor.
Okay,
And that ditch is coming right down the line, going into that catch basin.
I mean, that's really probably not a township issue, to tell you the truth.
Gonna get with Mike too and see, get down there and take a look at that. And
Okay.
I have a little better idea what's going on then. But it doesn't sound like we should be involved in it. If it's there, if it's
Yeah,
on his property, you know.
I can understand they like to close up because they can mow it and it looks nice. But when you got a pipe, you gotta get the water into the pipe somewhere. If you got an open ditch, the water can get into it anywhere it wants to.
And an open ditch will carry more water than a pipe ever
Right.
will. That's been proven, I don't know how many times. I've seen it myself so many times. All right. Well, thank you, Bill. Do you have anything for us?
I do not.
We're up to the fire department's report.
Since last meeting of 3/18, we've had 2 service calls, 4 mutual aid calls, 1 structure fire, 3 brush, and 1 QRS, to total 11 total calls.
Thank you. All right, under the police report, we have, you want to read that?
Well, no, it's 91 calls. If somebody wants to see what all the calls were, you could look.
No, I meant resolution.
Oh, resolution 5/2019. It's minimum requirements for a police officer position.
Yeah, I think we should, I think we should definitely have that in our files. You wanna make a motion for that
Yeah, I'll make a
resolution?
motion to adopt that.
Scotty,
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried. I don't know. Like you heard Curtis say already, we had 91 calls. Anybody wants to see the calls the police department made, there it is. All right, now, we have next shot is hire Chris Tesmer as full-time police patrolman with a 12-month probationary period.
Yeah, I make a motion to hire Chris.
Second.
Well, we have already interviewed this gentleman and seems to have good credentials. We're gonna give him a try. You seconded it, you say? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So carried. All right, the animal control officer. You want to read that for us, Scotty?
Yeah, 813 Route 288, sick raccoon disposed of. 161 Greenwood Road, possum disposed of. Small dog, Clearwater Street, found owner.
Thank you. Okay, on the road report. I'll read this off quick. Week of March the 17th, Barton Thomas Hill Road repaired and reinstalled road sign on the waterfront road as a tree had fallen on, cut up a fallen tree, hauled concrete slabs to Stam Hall Road to prepare for digging out soft spots, cut up fallen tree on Thomas Hill Road, dug out the soft spots on Stam Hall Road, pick up tires and mattresses have been thrown out on Lancaster Road. Week of the 24th March, Swept the intersections, installed culvert pipe under driveway at 748 Lancaster, hauled concrete slabs to Stamwalla, repaired large holes by truck and trailers turning at the entrance of Sarah Drive, repaired large hole at the entrance of Nalco Way, hauled riprap the dirt end of the Hickernell Road and filled in a deep ditch, cleaned leaves from ditches, dug out soft spots in Stamwalla, replaced the cross pipe on Stamwalla, and cleaned out catch basins and culvert pipes in Frisco. Week of the March 31st, salted icy spots and moved dirt on the hill behind the pole building to make room for construction trailer being used for Foam Bell Road bridge replacement. Helped direct traffic on Mercer Road while the wrecker removed a truck that has struck a large pothole and broke a tie rod. Hauled all asphalt chunks to Stamp Hollow Road for use in digging out the soft spots. Replaced second cross pipe on Stamwalla Road, dug out soft spots in Stamwalla, reset do not enter one-way signs that were falling over, and installed a switch on the front door for overriding electronic lock, patch potholes, and help with hazardous cleanup. Week of April 7th, swept the streets, hauled chunks of asphalt to Stamwalla Road, dug out soft spots in the dirt end of Hickernell, picked up sweeper truck in Mart and began sweeping, but the truck was malfunctioning, had to return it. Hauled asphalt chunks on American School Road in preparation for digging out the soft spots and dirt end of Hickernell, graded shoulder of the road at the entrance to Smith Wind Trailer Park and patched the potholes. In case you was wondering, about all this Stamwalla business, we had a bunch of soft spots down there with clay was coming up through, and we've been digging this out and putting large stones and stuff in, getting a base under that road to hold it. Okay, under the business. Approve and sign the Duffy plan, we've taken care of that. Exonerate the township tax collector for the collection of unpaid 2018 taxes. I'll make a motion to that effect.
I'll second it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Review of sample international property maintenance code ordinance. Yeah. This is an ordinance that Franklin Township is adopting the 2015 edition of International Property Maintenance Code, regulating and governing the conditions and maintenance of all property, buildings, structures by providing the standards for supplied utilities and facilities, other physical things and conditions is essential to ensure that structures are safe, sanitary, and fit for occupation and use, and the condemnation of buildings and structures unfit for human occupancy and use, and the demolition of such existing structures in Franklin Township, providing for the issuance of permits and collection of fees, therefore repealing all other ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
Mr. Norton, this isn't being voted on today.
Pardon?
This isn't being voted on today. And in fact, I think this is a short form of the ordinance. There is a significantly larger ordinance which addresses all of these things. It's probably 50, 60 pages.
Yes.
I don't believe I'm going to read all
Correct.
60 pages.
So I think what occurred was Jeff Richardson recommended that the township consider adopting it. And it doesn't necessarily need to be adopted in the form that he provided to us. We can make additions, revisions, or changes to it as we see fit, or the board could choose not to adopt it at all. So I don't know that this is necessarily something we wish to hastily address, but I think it's something that I would recommend look at over the
Looking
course of
over,
the
yes,
next
definitely.
month or two. And then, assuming we have it in form that everybody's amenable to, we would want to then advertise for adoption the ordinance.
I think. Does the board agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
So would you like me to take a look at it together with Shannon and,
Definitely.
okay.
Definitely. We don't want to get in any trouble over this law-wise, and that's why we have you. All right. Next item is a boom truck. We have a chance to purchase a boom truck, a used boom truck for $3,800 from Jerry Schaefer. Now, I don't know whether you got a chance to look at that or not, but Scotty and I did get down and look it all over. And this is not just a buy, gentlemen, this is a steal. And it's gonna do a safety factor for us that we haven't had ever here. And I think it's definitely a good buy. And even if we find out we don't have that much use for it at a later date, you'll be able to get your money worth out of this anyhow. And once again, Mr. Schaefer is giving us a very good deal on this. Very good deal. He doesn't have to, but he does this for the township a lot. And I would make a motion to purchase this boom truck for $3,800 from Mr. Jerry Schaefer. Upon what we've looked at and saw. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second it.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. So carried. All right, we got one more thing to discuss, is Franklin Township Park. And there was,
You're gonna have to go down and measure them ball fields and see what you can do.
yeah, we've had a request for trying to get us another little ball field down there to help out all these young people that we have that are playing ball all the time. And we don't have enough room right now. We only got one ball field down there, and I think we can get part of another one that we can no doubt use for the smaller kids, the T-ball kids and stuff. And we have to get down there and take some measurements and one thing and another and get with the Baseball Association and see what we can talk out, see what we can do for them. And I think we can get something for them anyhow. And that's what that's all about. Do you have anything for us, Shannon, under Secretary's report? No. Nothing at the present? All right. No.
Johnny has his hand up.
Oh, Johnny.
Did
I
they
did
give
not
you
see that.
plans for the baseball field that they were looking at?
Pardon?
Did they give you plans for what they were looking at for the baseball field?
Did they give me plans?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no, I haven't had any.
From being in the RBF meetings, it looks like they were looking to go in the back corner near right field, back where that batting cage is, and taking part of the,
Well, see,
that would take part of your, I don't know what you call it, your football field, soccer field.
well, on that end, on the end of the football field when we made that, there was another section of land in there, but it isn't big enough for another field of any kind, you know, not a what we would say regulation.
Well, they're only looking for a T-ball size field.
Well, and that's what I think we can put there. I think we can get that in there without any problem. But I haven't got to talk to them yet, and I think we can.
That's why I figured I'd say something, because that's what.
Yeah, I know
what they were talking about was a T-ball field.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Nothing very big.
Yeah, I had a lot of days down there, Buck McHugh and I did.
Well,
And
they
I
used-
know exactly what they're talking about, and I think that we can do it there.
They used to use Concord Church's field, and it just became too much to try and upkeep. So now they're trying to hold all their games between Franklin and Bradshaw. And
Right.
the last few years, they've had a lot of T-ball kids come out. I think for the fall, they had 8 teams. I think for the spring, they had 6. So it's just running out of.
I don't know who I can get a hold of with the baseball association, but I need to. I'll get with
Probably
Shannon.
Mike Garvin is who you need to talk to. That's probably who contacted you.
Is that him?
Mike Garvin's president.
Yeah.
Shannon should have his
All right,
contact
well.
information.
I'll get a shout to him and see when we can get together and get down there, and one of these two guys might want to go with me, and if not, well, I can get down there and we can measure up and stuff and see what we have and see if we can fit them in. And I think we can, because they're not going to hit the ball very far anyway. These are little guys, you know.
You never know.
Well, if we find one like hits him like that, we're gonna move him over to a bigger field somewhere. I don't know, but we're gonna try to get him in there anyhow. So that's what we've got the idea of. Is there anyone else wants to question before the board here, or comment before the board? We got a vote to pay the bills, gentlemen.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. So carried.